on fire. This face is on fire. Look at all of, okay, first of all, my skin is super duper shiny because the only thing my skin can tolerate right now without screaming is coconut oil. But look at all of this stuff. I have like my beard rash. It has not gone away. I'm better. Thanks for asking. Y'all want to see? Okay, guys. When I filmed that video, I had the height of my beard rash inflammation, but it's actual, like, what your doctor will tell you is that you have periorial dermatitis. This was a little bit tricky for me because I have eczema. I've had eczema for many, many years. And a year and a half ago, I started getting eczema in my beard area, mostly my upper lip, like between my nostril and my lips. Super puffy, scaly. I mean, nothing would make it better. So if you guys want to know how I got rid of my beard rash and the importance of visiting a dermatologist, keep watching. Let's start off with some skin background. So I have eczema. I've had it since I was a wee little girl. I had really scaly skin and it was super itchy and I would scratch until I bled and it was just one giant mess. I've gotten better, I think, from scratching myself until I bleed. Although sometimes it still happens while I'm sleeping. Can't help that, I'm asleep. So I've had eczema for many, many years and my favorite products are from the CeraVe line. So I like the lotion as well as the cream. The cream, and the lotion, they both have a really cooling effect. And I know that it's time for steroid creams when you put this on and your skin starts to burn and sting. That generally means to me like my skin is super duper inflamed and I need to get some steroid cream or put some steroid cream on my face. CeraVe is my favorite brand to keep eczema under control. What's your favorite brand to keep eczema or at least like dry skin at bay? Let me know in the comments below. Because I've had eczema for so long, when I got my beard rash, I was like, oh, this is no bueno. I went to my primary care provider, my PCP. They were like, oh yeah, I mean, you have eczema all over your body, so that must also be eczema. Now, you don't want to use your steroid creams that you use on your body on your face because, it's a little too potent. But what you can use is over-the-counter 1% hydrocortisone cream. They told me, hey, you can use it every day, no problem. And I was like, great. So for a year and a half, I used this cream on my face morning and night. And I noticed when I stopped using it for even one time, my skin would start to get irritated again. And I was like, okay, well, I guess this is just what we're doing. We're just using this. This is a part of my skincare routine. I don't go anywhere without it. It's always in my travel bag. I have a separate one so I don't forget it. And I was like, oh, okay. Fast forward about a couple months ago, I had an eczema flare up as well as, I was like, I should probably ask about this too. And my dermatologist of like 15 years recently stopped accepting my insurance. For those of us in America, our healthcare is extremely closely tied to our health insurance. If your provider is no longer accepting your health insurance, you basically pay everything out of pocket. And one visit will be like $400. So not a lot of people have that. I don't want to spend that much money, especially when I have insurance. I had to look for a new provider, and just as a pro tip, every insurance company has what's called a provider directory, and you can look in there to see what doctors accept your insurance and make sure you select the proper plan that you have. And sometimes it'll even let you know what's a tier 1 provider, meaning that the insurance company covers the most out of that visit versus, tier 2, which is like average. They'll probably cover like 50% or something like that. And then tier 3 is they don't cover them at all. So they're just excluded and you pay out of pocket. And you probably have different like deductibles and out of pocket limits for each of those tiers. I used to work in insurance and manage a provider directory, so that's why I know all these fun facts. I'm sure you all wanted to know that. So you're welcome, maybe. Back to finding a dermatologist. I found a dermatologist who is accepting new patients. That is another thing about dermatologists. They're extremely busy and a lot of them don't accept new patients because they have so many patients already. So the fact that I was able to find one who took my insurance and was accepting new patients was amazing. I still had to wait a month and a half in order to get in to see him. I go in to see him and I'm like, hey, I've got all this fun eczema, but there's one thing that's on my face. I think it's eczema. I went to my PCP a year and a half ago and they told me to use hydrocortisone cream. He immediately, his head goes tilts over. Anytime a healthcare professional does that, usually means that they're thinking, interesting, this is unusual. And he said, I don't think that is eczema on your face. And at the time, genius here did not think to stop using this in order for him to see it in person. He just saw like super smooth skin, or okay, smooth, not inflamed skin. How about that? I don't have amazing skin. Non-inflamed skin. And he was like, I can't see anything right now, but stop using it for 2 days. Send me a photo. Our patient portal allows us to send messages plus photos. So anyway, I did that. 2 days later, he said, yep, that is perioral dermatitis. That's not eczema. The first prescription he wrote for me was for clindamycin lotion. This is just topical lotion. Clindamycin is also used for the treatment of acne, which I was like, yes, it's gonna take care of any cysts that I may have. However, I used it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and my beard rash was still on fire and it was still like really bumpy and raised, and I was like, this is not working. So I sent him another photo and he said, it's a little concerning that it's not going away, so I'm going to prescribe you 2 steroid creams. And what you're gonna do is mix them together. And I was like, what does this guy think I am? An apothecary? Oh my goodness. I go get my new prescription creams and he said, hey, really important, one of them has the same name as another steroid cream that I prescribed you for your eczema on your neck. Don't get those 2 mixed up, because they have different dosages. So you don't want to mix them up because you don't want to have a really strong dosage on your face. And I'm like, okay, great, I got it. And that's where you saw me singing in my car at the beginning of this video. That was me. My face was on fire. And I was really happy to get those 2 prescriptions for those creams. One thing that my dermatologist did tell me was that when applying steroid creams, you want to make sure that your skin is clean. So like wash your face, wash your body. The first thing you do after you towel off is put the steroid cream on, and then afterward you want to add some type of fatty barrier that's going to help your skin barrier heal. You can use any type, cooking oil, fancy oil, whatever you want. That is something to keep in mind. The difference between fancy oil and cooking oil, I mean, this was like $14 and this was like $2 or $3. Especially if you're gonna be using this at night, like no one's gonna see you sleeping, okay? It's fine. Maybe don't put it on during the daytime because that would be a little much, and then like trying to put makeup on top of it is even worse. Here are my 2 prescriptions that I got. So I'm just gonna mix them on my finger. So here's the first one, just a small dab, and then the second one just on top of it. I'm gonna mix them together, and then I'm going to spread it onto my beard rash area, making sure to cover all of the affected areas. I'm actually applying it a little bit outside of the beard rash area just to make sure on my nose, cheeks, and then on my lips as well, because my lips are a bit inflamed. And then I'm going to fan myself dry, and then I'm going to grab my coconut oil. So I do use a spatula because I don't like sticking my fingers into a pot, and then I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand. The heat from my body is actually going to melt the coconut oil, so it turns from a solid to a liquid. And then I'm just going to apply it on my face and over the steroid cream in order to seal it in. I also want to bring it down to my neck and use any excess on the back of my hands and in my hair, because why not? And then here's the finished look, nice and greasy. That's what I did for a good 4 or 5 days or so. I'm still not sure if it's gonna be totally gone. I'm hoping so, but I mean, my lips still sometimes hurt, so I can't tell if it's because they're dry and chapped or because I have a skin condition. I was essentially putting a Band-Aid on a problem for a 1.5 years because I didn't go to a dermatologist. The dermatologist knew immediately that what was on my face was not eczema, and he didn't even need to see it. I just described it and he was like, that's not eczema, girl, that is something else, and we're gonna treat it. That's super duper important. I feel like dermatologists, they're amazing. And basically when you need to see a dermatologist is when your over-the-counter amazing cream like this stop working. When these become ineffective, you need to see a dermatologist in order to get the good stuff, as I'm gonna call it. More effective products to make your skin more manageable. Anytime that the over-the-counter stuff stops working and your skin just starts feeling like it's on fire, it's time for some steroid cream. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have had beard rash, what your experience was, if your dermatologist prescribed different medications for you, if it went away, if you still have it, like if it came back, like what's going on. So let me know. Talk to you guys soon.